Adaptogenic mushrooms are special in a way that they have three main let's call it like features. They have to be like non-toxic, non-specific, and they have to have normalizing effect.
Are you curious about discovering ways of making your life better? Then welcome to my podcast. I'm Bob Nickman, and this is The Exploding Human. Listen in while I talk with all kinds of people in the fields of personal growth, health and healing, alternative therapies, psychology, spirituality, environment, and the future. I'm looking for those answers that make life better for everyone. You'll meet cutting-edge practitioners, doctors, artists, filmmakers, business people, and those who have overcome challenges. The brave, the curious, anyone who's out there helping us humans to explore, expand, and explode. Hey, welcome to The Exploding Human. My name is Bob Nickman. My guest today is Juraj Kocar, and we're going to be talking about adaptogenic mushrooms, what they are, what they have to offer, and how he came to found his company, Wyse Earth. Juraj's own health issues led him to seek healing and wellness outside of the mainstream medical community, and how that eventually led to him researching the benefits of adaptogenic mushrooms. Juraj's approach is very straightforward, and his goal is to empower people to take control of their own health. His work reflects a belief that lasting wellness starts with practical, effective solutions. So here he is. This is Juraj Kocar. Good morning, Juraj. And I am in Los Angeles at 8 a.m. and you're in Prague. I've never been to Prague on this show, so you're the first. What time is it there?
It's 5 p.m. now, so the day is slowly getting to end, but I'm used to work two shifts, the European one and the US one.
Okay. Well, so I'm just starting and you're winding down for the day. I just was on your website, as I was telling you, looking at some of the products you have, but I wanted to start with, and a lot of it's, mushroom derived products, and we're going to talk about why that's important, but also the word adaptogen. So I want to find out a little bit more about that word, the origins, and what it actually means. As much as I've tried to figure it out, I'm going to let you tell me, because I know you're going to do a great job of it.
Yeah, we can discuss adaptogenic mushrooms, which are a special kind of mushrooms with amazing benefits. And they are used in traditional Chinese medicine for more than 3,000 years. So they have a very long history in Asia in traditional Chinese medicine. But for let's say the Western world or the Western medicine, the name adaptogen was coined by a Soviet scientist, Nikolai Lazarev. And the Soviets hired him, to come up with a supplement or with a substance that would increase the stamina of soldiers. So he was devoted to that, and he started to study various like plants and mushrooms and all of that, and then he found out specific kind of mushrooms that have these abilities to work with our immune system, and he coined them like adaptogens, because they can adapt and change the response of our immune system.
Well, that's the best version I've heard, so thank you for that one. So it comes from the word adopt, so that makes sense, or adapt. So mushrooms have become something of a trend in the last number of years in the health field, and you hear a lot about them. My first reaction to it is I don't like the taste of mushrooms. That's my first reaction.
Yeah.
However, the types of mushrooms that I was probably given in food were not any of these that you're going to talk about. Let's talk about some of the different mushrooms and what they do.
Adaptogenic mushrooms are special in a way that they have three main let's call it like features. They have to be like non-toxic, non-specific, and they have to have normalizing effect. So what non-toxic means is that you cannot overdose with them. So no matter how much you take, like your body should be fine with it. So this is quite rare, in any kind of plant-based medicine or even with drugs. So this is quite a rare feature that they are, like non-toxic and you cannot overdose with them. The second feature is they have like normalizing effect, which means that they can downgrade or stimulate, for example, our nervous system. So normalizing effect is like bi-directional effect. So for example, in the morning you take cacao, and it will boost you. And when you take cacao in the evening, it will cool you down. So it's working with the body on various levels to get it back into homeostasis. So if you are overstimulated or too stressed out, it will cool you down. If you have if you need more energy, it will basically boost you. So this is also quite a unique feature of adaptogenic mushrooms. Their benefits are confirmed by like traditional Chinese medicine, by time. It's time tested by the 3,000 years, but also since 60s during the last century, they've scientists that have done a lot of studies, so-called gold standard studies on them, which means they are double-blinded placebo study. They shown that adaptogenic mushrooms are one of the biggest fighters of inflammation in the body. And chronic inflammation, is the currently the biggest problem all over the world, because from chronic inflammation, you have, blood pressure, cholesterol, cancer, cysts, diabetes, and all of those health problems.
You hear about inflammation all the time, as the root cause of a lot of things. So, including, I would imagine, brain function and memory and those kinds of things. It's really a fascinating idea that a lot of the things that we suffer from are caused by ourselves. What we do or what we don't do. It's nice to know that there's something growing in the ground that can help. How do you figure out what dosage? Because you're saying you can't overdose on this stuff, and how, when you make your products, how do you sort of arrive at the amount that you put in?
So that's a great question. So majority of the studies, like the scientific studies with the adaptogenic mushrooms were done where the daily dosage was approximately 400 milligrams a day. And there's also, we have to also differentiate what was the concentration of the extract, because you have to like do the extracts. Usually you do it through like boiling, and then you extract it in alcohol. So you have this two-way extraction where you get most potent extract from the fruiting bodies, which is where we should get the beta glucans and all of that. So in our blends we have 450 milligrams of adaptogenic mushrooms in one dosage. So one dosage means one spoon. We put the adaptogenic mushrooms extracts into honey to improve the absorption and delivery. This is our approach, but at the same time, the industry standard in terms of the ratio is usually like extract ratio is usually 8 to 1. and the where we are sourcing the mushrooms from, they achieve like 25 to 1. So our 450 milligrams dosage is around 1.3 grams of other supplements that you could buy out there.
Very concentrated compared to a lot of the stuff. So that's the thing when you're buying any kind of a natural thing that grows in the ground, you have to sort of understand or figure out what is that concentration and what's the right amount, because it's, sometimes you can buy something that's maybe it's a little cheaper, but maybe it's kind of a pointless amount that doesn't do anything. So that's why I always, when I find out about this stuff, that's one of the first things I ask is like, well, how much do you take and what's going to work?
That's definitely important to know, the source, the potency of it, and all of that.
And then I always get to this question, which is, how did you get started doing this? Because it's not something a lot of people, one, know about, and two, want to spend time doing, which is, I applaud that, because I'm not going to do it, but I'm so glad when I meet somebody that really has a passion about something that's good for me.
Yeah, well, that's a great question. I mean, I'm in the health and wellness space since 2012, when I was struggling with my own like health problems, and I had to deal with it, go through it. I realized at that time that the doctors won't help me, that they would just give me pills for the rest of my life, and I was not happy with that. So I had to learn, through my own like trial and error, that the lifestyle, the food, and everything has it has everything to do with our health and how we feel. So that started me on the health journey. And when I went through it and healed myself, I decided that I would like to like do something in this space, like help other people as well. And then I became the CEO of a health and wellness company. I was running it from since 2019. It was called Somavedic Technologies. So I was running it in 2019 until this year. But why I started, this adaptogenic mushrooms with honey was that uh, like a guy approached me, and he told me like, hey, I would like to talk to you. I have this kind of product, and I would like to have your feedback on it. And I at that time, it was a couple of months ago, like I think like six months ago, and at that time I was getting quite deep into the amazing benefits of the adaptogenic mushrooms, and I knew that this is what I would like to do. And so I met that guy, and he told me like, and he showed me the product. He said like, look, we have this honey with adaptogenic mushrooms. We have amazing results with it. People healed from quite serious illnesses. And he asked me if I would like to help them to expand to the US market. So for me, it was a huge synchronicity that I was thinking about. I want to do something with adaptogenic mushrooms. I was researching it quite deep. And then, someone out of a blue approached me, if I would like to help them, expand to the US market.
That's a great story. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about where the mushrooms are grown. Are we talking about in the wild that you're getting them, or are they being harvested from, maybe you have a place that you grow them? I always think
Yeah.
of like
So
a wet basement is what I think of.
no, yeah. So this is the second part of the story that I will share, and with that story I'll answer your question. So when his name is Daniel, when Daniel approached me, he also shared the story. So I just mentioned why I'm with the company, but he is the brainchild behind it. That he like came up with it, and he told me he shared a story with me that his sister died of cancer, which had like a significant effect on his life because they were very close. No one knew she's sick. She didn't tell anyone. Later, he met a guy that healed himself from a stage 4 cancer just through adaptogenic mushroom extracts that he was doing by himself, like preparing by himself. So when he heard this and had that, tragic experience with his sister, he realized that this is something that he wants to do. He wants to help other people, not to as much as he can, not to experience the loss that he was going through. He had some great contacts in China because China is the biggest producer of adaptogenic mushrooms in the world. They produce 90% of the adaptogenic mushrooms, and everyone is importing it from China. It's also because of some mushrooms you can get only on the southern hemisphere, like Russia and Finland and there. So we are sourcing it from a factory that started to work with adaptogenic mushrooms since 1850. So they have a very long history. They are a supplier to to Japanese companies, to companies in Canada, even pharmaceutical companies. So they grow these in nature. Of course, they have like a farm where they grow it, but because it has to be like a large scale. But everything is in the open. So that's where we get it, and they have really high standards in terms of the processing and the extraction.
Okay, so it's farmed. You hear that about a lot of the herbs that are grown for essential oils too, that they're big farms. What kind of honey do you put it in?
We use local honey. By local honey means honey from Czech Republic. We have a great beekeeper with his whole heart. He's just found him passion and in like taking care of bees, and he is also doing the mixing. So we source the extracts from China, and then he mixes it into the honey. So it takes 3 days. And the reason why, and I mentioned it before, why we use the honey, and you said that you don't like the taste of adaptogenic mushrooms. Yes, they are like earthier and bitter and things like that. So we use honey because of two. One is the obvious reason is because of the taste, but the sugar in honey is actually improving the deliverability of the nutrients and beneficial like things that are in the mushroom. So it makes them more it makes it more bioavailable.
So when I saw those jars of the various combinations that you're doing,
Yeah,
those aren't
like
capsules in there. Yeah, there's a jar. That's actually
yeah,
like I would take a spoon
yes.
and do it that way. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
So most of the customers, the doctors just send them home, to die. That they said that, hey, it's stage 4 or something. It's too late for chemotherapy, or sometimes they just refuse the chemotherapy, that they don't want to go that road. And I'll just mention, like a couple of examples where, the first one is from a guy that he was doing autopsies. So he's lifelong like doing autopsy. So he knows the body in and out. And he found out that he has 5 cysts in his body, and one was on pancreas, and he knew that it's impossible to operate. And after a couple of months, he called us, so like super excited, and he told us, "Hey, I have this like 2 reports from the doctor. One is from January, one is from March. The one the report from January is showing like 5 cysts, and the report from March is showing only 1 cyst and is the fraction of the size of what it used to be. So four disappeared completely. And because he knows, the body, he said like this is almost like impossible. It is super hard to explain by medicine what happened, how it happened, and all of that. But obviously, the anti-inflammatory benefits of the adaptogenic mushrooms like helped a lot. Then we have other case of like brain tumor that started to shrink and dry out. And we have some other cases where there was cancer in the digestion tract or on the lungs, and all of them are improving. Of course, this is not to say that everyone here will have this experience, but uh, it is like a real experience. And we have the emails, we have the text messages where the family members are thanking us that it worked out and that they are improving. What is interesting to see, the doctors, they are really hesitant to know more about this. Like really, they said, I I know that you are doing something alternative. It's okay, like do what you do, but I don't want to know.
You see that in a lot of different fields, but it's, and you wonder why don't they want to know? And I think that part of it is it upends all the teaching that they've had and all the schooling and
Yeah,
and look, let's just be honest, there's an arrogance to a lot of doctors because they're doctors and it's an incredible accomplishment, but there is a certain amount of attachment to spending that many years learning something that other people don't know. And who is what's this other thing that's coming in? And it's also in that world of alternative, which means in their mind, in a lot of people's minds, not real, less
yeah.
than in some way.
The system of education of our doctors, like almost around the world, but for sure in Europe and in the US, is in a way that they just don't educate on nutrition, or they have throughout the 5 or 6 years when they are like studying, to become a doctor, or in something in that space, that you have just one class of nutrition or zero. They are not used to think about the lifestyle and nutrition, and what you eat has an effect, basically threatening to their existence. And so that's one thing. And some don't want to know, some know but are scared for their future. I'm hopeful that this will change.
Well, I think it will, and I think it's starting to do that. The biggest thing that gets people to do something is desperation. Like you said in your own story, you knew the doctors weren't going to help you, and they couldn't, whatever was going on. And you went, oh, okay, I'm going to find something else. I am desperate. You don't always find a solution to things, but oftentimes you can. I'm on the side of what works. I don't really care who comes up with it or how, if it
Yeah,
works.
regarding when we are discussing, the system, like the political system or educational system or healthcare system, I'm not the type of guy that would like to, like destroy or break something. I believe that we have to create something, new, that will eventually like replace the current, let's say, healthcare system or drugs or anything in. So whether that is education, natural medicine, supplements, like eventually like people will find out that the Western medicine, especially the drugs for chronic that are dealing with chronic illnesses, because the medicine is definitely great, like an emergency surgeries, all of that's irreplaceable. But they are not doing that great job when healing chronic problems.
Yeah, and there's an incentive, a financial incentive to get people on some of these things. at lower numbers than it used to be, and younger ages than it used to be. I'm thinking particularly of cholesterol medication. That gets pushed like crazy here, and it's an interesting thing to see that. And I think that diabetes, I was reading, is like it in the United States. I was reading somewhere it was like 50% of the population. It seems high to me, but maybe that's accurate.
Yeah, yeah, I was reading similar statistics that about 40% people are already like pre-diabetic. That means they are on the way to be diabetic. But this goes hand in hand with the obesity rates that are in the US. So yeah, let's but what when we are discussing the diabetes, there's one one customer or that came to my mind, that his wife reached out to us, and he was diabetic, and like sugar and diabetes, that doesn't go together. But he still bought the adaptogenic honey from us, and you take 1 spoon a day, and he put the 1 spoon into tea, and he was sipping that tea throughout the day, so he didn't get that spike, and approximately after 3 months, he was, because his wife called us, and she told us that approximately after 3 months, he was able to lower his insulin intake by almost 90%, which is pretty, amazing. And we were also blown away because you just it just showing the immerse the the great power of these adaptogenic mushrooms when they, get your body into homeostasis and balance. Lots of things just improve.
I had heard something, and I don't know if this is accurate. It was just a thing I just saw on YouTube. It was a guy talking about Alzheimer's being what he called type 3 diabetes, which I thought
Yeah.
was an interesting take, that inflammation and a diabetic type situation, it affects the brain.
Yes, yes, exactly. And for if someone would like to specifically target Alzheimer's, or like let's say similar diseases in that area that has to do with memory and brain, the what's great for that is lion's mane. And there are studies like confirmed that when people started to take I don't know the dosage, but when they started to take lion's mane on every day, they were Alzheimer people. When they started to take lion's mane, they were their state was significantly improved, and after they stopped taking it, it was slowly going back. So yes, it won't like heal you, but it will improve the quality of your life basically without any side effects.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I've heard of that about lion's mane. I do. I put some in my coffee every day. Guess my memory's the same. It's not getting worse.
Yeah.
Well, I like the preventative uh,
Yeah.
idea of getting on something, a situation. As I age, you always hear people lose their memory and all that kind of stuff, and that to me is one of the greatest things I have, is my memory, my mind, and so I'm always experimenting with different things to see how that might affect me. So you had looked like you had three different combinations of mushrooms on your
Yes.
website. I was looking. It's Wyse Earth. Is that correct?
Yes. It's
Yeah,
it's
which is yeah,
wiseearth.com.
yeah, WYSE.
Yes, WYSE
Yeah,
Earth,
Earth.
one word,
Yeah.
dot com. Yes, so we have we have three blends. We have longevity, we have heart flow, and we have detox. So those blends were specifically designed, for a purpose. The Chinese traditional Chinese medicine masters designed it for us. We told them, we would like to have a blend that would help in the, people with oncological problems, or people with cardiovascular problems like blood pressure and diabetes and cholesterol. And then we wanted to have a blend basically for antiparasitical, antiviral, for general, like a detox and digestion improvement. So that's why have we these three blends. And so the longevity one is the one that I would recommend, like anyone to go for, because it's very, very, and we are discussing all the time the quite wide universal benefits of adaptogenic mushrooms. So the longevity is quite universal one, that if you don't know which one to go for, it would be that one. In one jar, it's a 3 months supply. So you just take 1 spoon a day and you should be fine for about 3 months. Usually it's gone much sooner, because it tastes great and family members, just want to join the party. So
Yeah.
so, but that's a good thing because it's super, super like beneficial. And if someone is like struggling with kind of health problem, I would recommend going for longevity and detox. And you can take 1 spoon of each a day.
Do people usually just eat it right off the spoon, or can you mix it in the liquids?
Yeah, that's a great question. To get most out of it as it was, let's say, intended, you can eat it, from the spoon. You can have it directly from the spoon,
Hmm.
and that's fine. Uh, but you can also put it into, like yogurt or smoothie or something. You can also put it into tea or coffee. It just, preferably it's not like too hot, but all of these options are okay.
Okay. Which one do you take mostly?
Mostly, I take the longevity,
Hmm.
that one, but I love the taste of detox. It's hard to describe. People would have to experience it, but I love the taste of detox, and I'm a detox fan. I when I was struggling with my health, uh, doing enemas like really like almost saved my life. Like when I was starting like 10 years ago, it was such a huge difference how it has such an effect on my digestion and on my mental clarity, like you just wouldn't imagine. So yeah, I'm a detox fan, and we have a fourth one coming. It's called Power. We will introduce that soon, and that one is designed. So these three are designed. The blend has like medicinal properties, and in China, if you would go to a doctor and you would tell the doctor, I have this and that, he would he would recommend something similar that is in our blend. So it's more for the medicinal purposes. But the fourth one, called Power, is designed more for, you know, high performing managers, athletes, or students, or whoever wants to have a bit of a more energy and kick. And the main ingredients in that is cordyceps and Asian ginseng. So it's also improving, it has a positive effects on the, like libido and energy.
I used to go down to, I used to go to a Chinese doctor here in Los Angeles, and they would write me prescriptions in Chinese, and I would go down to these little shops in Chinatown here, and they were just filled with, all these different herbs and tinctures, and then they had barrels of this ginseng. Some of it was really expensive.
Yeah.
But I remember, making ginseng tea in this pot, and it was just, didn't taste bad. It was pretty good, but boy, the clarity and the energy was incredible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Always wanted to get the most expensive one to see what it was like, but it was hundreds of dollars a pound.
Yeah.
I was like, well, this is, I maybe one day I'll do that. I don't know. I have pretty good energy. So you distribute here in the U.S. now through Wyse Earth and obviously other places in the world. So if people want to try something, go to wiseearth.com, WYSEEARTH, and you can order something and try it out. How much is it? I didn't even look at the price.
Yeah, so it's $109. It's for 3 months.
Yeah.
But we can definitely offer, like a discount when you later publish, the podcast. You can add it there so people will have it for a bit cheaper. And we have it in the US warehouse. We ship it basically anywhere in the US within a couple of days.
Oh, okay, great. So you have a warehouse here. That's great. Okay,
Yes.
fascinating stuff. I'm just starting to do mushrooms myself, so
Yeah.
we'll see.
Continuing.
Yeah, I'm going to see. I mean, I like I was telling you, I just started drinking mushroom coffee just like 2 days ago.
Yeah, another synchronicity.
Yeah, well, that's how I felt. Yeah, I was like, I didn't even realize that, when I didn't realize this was going to sync up with that, and it did. So I'm like,
Yeah.
and I feel really good in 2 days, and
They are really powerful. Yeah.
there's a little coffee mixed in with it, I guess, to make it not quite as mushroomy tasting,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm fine with that. So, it's really been a pleasure talking to you. So if people want to know more, they can go to wiseearth.com. And is there other ways to?
Yes, yes. So we have on the wiseearth.com, we have also like a couple of blogs where they can read more, about our company, about the adaptogenic mushrooms, about their history, and or they can follow us on Instagram. It's wise_earth. Or if they have any questions, they can, go to the website and in the contact form, uh, ask anything, and it will go directly to me. So I'm happy to respond any questions.
Well, look at that, folks. He's right here and he will answer your questions. That is customer support right from the top.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, thanks so much for talking to me. I really appreciate your time, and what a great thing you're doing. Continued success on your products and your health, because that's what this is all about. And have a fantastic evening. That's what I will say.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Thank you both for having me. I really enjoyed the conversation.
Much appreciation for you folks listening to The Exploding Human. The website is theexplodinghuman.com. There's a YouTube channel where you can listen. That is The Exploding Human with Bob Nickman. Once again, I want to thank Juraj Kocar for being on the show. You can find out more at wiseearth.com. Have a fantastic day. Thank you.